Hello and welcome to the Outside the Box Football Podcast. I'm here with my co-host Jake. Jake, how are we doing today, mate?
All good, mate. How are you?
Good, good. And we're discussing quite a controversial topic today. We're discussing the expansion of the Championship playoffs from 4 teams to 6. So now that is news that Tottenham Hotspur will be incredibly excited to hear following their relegation from the Premier League this season. But anyway, Jake, let's go straight into it, shall we, today, mate? Let's talk about the statement that the EFL have given. I'm going to read it out for us today, and it goes as follows.
Statement was as follows. At a general meeting today, EFL clubs approved changes to expand the number of teams competing in the Sky Bet Championship playoffs from 4 to 6, starting in the 26-27 season. The decision is intended to increase the number of competitive fixtures during the closing stages of the campaign, while also giving 2 additional clubs the opportunity to reach the playoff final at Wembley Stadium and progress to the Premier League. EFL Chief Executive Trevor Birch said, "Since their introduction in the 86-87 season, the playoff have become a highlight of the domestic football calendar, capturing the drama, suspense and jeopardy that makes the EFL so special." Quote said, "Following several months of discussions with clubs and other stakeholders, we are confident this change will further strengthen the championship as a competition and give more clubs and their supporters a genuine opportunity of achieving promotion."
Well, Jake, first question to you, mate. Do you buy that last bit that gives them a genuine opportunity of achieving promotion? Do you buy that, or do you think it's a bit wishy-washy?
I think it's a bit washy-washy. I mean, if you do the maths, yes, you've got more chance of getting into the playoffs. You've got even less chance of actually winning it when you're in the playoffs.
For sure, I think in some ways it definitely decreases the competitiveness to get into third to sixth. Those are the places where you really want to be, and especially throughout football history, at least for me, I've only experienced that sort of third to sixth playoff fight, and the run into getting in the playoffs. Remember last season for Reading, we were seventh, sixth the entire time, and we didn't manage to get in due to Leyton Orient's final day win against Huddersfield. And that it's gutting, but you have that sort of fight and determination that could kind of carry a team through really hard games. There was one last season against Wickham where we won 1-0, and they were sort of playoff, favourites, I guess. They had a great season with Kone and Bloomfield, and that was a huge win. Like, everyone kind of started believing that, hold on a minute, this could be the year we could get playoffs. And I think expanding that definitely limits the competitiveness of the league. Would you say that's a fair point?
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I have some sort of experience with the format. I mean, yeah, in the National League, I'm familiar with it. How from second to seventh, they have the sort of the same format which they're gonna bring into the Championship. And I mean, it kind of gives clubs of opportunities. I mean, you look at the playoff final last year. You had it was Oldham against Southend, and Southend finished. I think it was fourth versus seventh, if I was remember rightly. Southend finished seventh, and yeah, only to lose in like the extra time, added minutes and extra time. I do think it will provide the sort of drama and suspense that they want. However, I don't think it's the right thing going forward for the league.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And we talked about, you just said there, the drama. I want to get onto the fact that, why are the playoffs so successful? I mentioned a second ago, it carries a team through the hardships of a season. I think it allows for slight dips in form as well. I think no team is going to be perfect. I mean, you look at, super teams like Reading 106 season, or, the Birmingham one last year where they had stupid amounts of funding, or Wrexham's story, or whatever you want to call it. These teams, are kind of near perfect, but no one really is perfect, and the playoffs kind of allow for that dip in form. And also, what makes them entertaining isn't just the fact that, yes, they're big games and they mean a lot, but that prize of just getting to Wembley. I mean, the days out you can have at Wembley are outrageous. I think, Jake, you've got a few. Last year was Aldershot, was it, at the FA Trophy?
Yeah, yeah. So 2025. Yeah, it was in about what May last year. So yeah, I mean that was yeah one of the best sort of football atmospheres I've experienced. Like obviously even even going to England games, like the feeling of being in Wembley and like the nostalgia of the walking down Wembley Way. Can't imagine what it would be like for such a big game where you have the chance to sort of get promoted into the Premier League. Like that's where you want to be as an English club. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And obviously, the not even like the Wembley side of playoffs, just being at Wembley, especially with like Premier League teams of Liverpool. I mean, what was it? FA Shield, something Shield, Community Shield.
Yeah,
There we go.
Community Shield, yeah, was there in August as well, yeah. I mean, that's just you've got what 90,000 people packed in the
Yeah,
grounds
mental.
wanting the same thing as well, half of them wanting the same thing as you. Um, yeah, it creates a great atmosphere, like you sort of like I said earlier.
100%. Then why change it, Jake? And I think we both know the answer to that. It's the root of all evil. Money. It is the money is probably the main reason why they're going to change it. I think the EFL are
Yeah,
just trying to cash in on the whole, the drama of the playoffs, if you will. And I think that's definitely evident with what we've seen in previous years of the playoffs and how they are the big thing. It is no one really watches the EFL on Sky or whatever just for I don't know Preston versus Portsmouth, right? No one's really watching that apart from
yeah,
Preston and Portsmouth fans. The Premier League fans, the Serie A, whatever you want to call it, Liga and every single league. The thing they'll know about the Championship is the fact that you get promoted from that to get to the Premier League, not the stories within the Championship. And I think the main stories come from the promotion race, the relegation fight. One of which being the big the playoff thing, and that is what Sky or whatever the TV deal EFL want to call it, they are trying to cash in on that massively. I think that's evident with this new expansion, definitely.
yeah. I mean, if you look at it from the sort of financial point of view, it's not just the sort of. I mean, obviously the EFL will be getting that bit more TV revenue, but you can also look at it through like a ticketing sort of side, how they're gonna have more games, more tickets are gonna be sold. I suspect that like most teams sort of season ticket holders won't. I'm not sure how it works, but I'm sure they probably won't have guaranteed tickets to that. They'll probably have to buy tickets as well. So it's all about it's. I mean, for me, it all seems like another way to sort of yeah increase the money that they're getting in. And yeah, I mean it kind of helps the clubs that well obviously it'll help the club that or the clubs that probably end up in the final. Whereas I mean if you go out in the first round, it's a bit like you're kind of getting your hopes up for this big thing just for it to all come sort of crumbling down
For
so
sure.
so quickly.
And I think another thing to highlight with this new playoffs thing is the fact that the format is completely different. It's a completely different format to what we're used to. Jake, did you say it was similar to the National League? Was it?
Yeah, so sort of reading what I mean, they're following on from the statement they put in the format in. It says it will consist of 7 fixtures, where the two winners of the eliminator ties. So that would be what fourth versus eighth and sixth versus seventh would then play each other, and the winners of that would then play third or fourth in then a two-leg semi-final, which is slightly different to the National League because that's only one leg.
Yeah,
Um, and then yeah, obviously the two semi-finalists that end up winning will then yeah go to Wembley. Um, yeah, I mean if you kind of do the maths behind it, I mean from what is currently getting into the playoffs, you've got four out of there's 4 teams out of 24 that get into it, so that's what a sixth of a chance of all teams in the league. Whilst changing this format gives you sort of now it's 6 teams out of 24, and you're looking at a quarter chance of being in the playoffs.
definitely. I think another thing that this kind of does with a knock-on effect is it means that quite a lot of the league have something to play for. Whereas, you might have teams like, stereotypical Prestons and your Bristol Cities. They're just sort of mid-table mediocrity. It comes March and they're like, well, we can't get playoffs, but we can't get relegated. So we're just going to sit there and do nothing, right? And I think there's, is good things about this expansion. The fact that kind of limits those scenarios a lot, which I think does, in a way, make the league more competitive. So I'd say half the league will probably be trying to get into the playoff battle and be consistent in that playoff battle for longer than previous years. And other teams will be trying to avoid relegation and be in that relegation battle for longer than other years. So I think that definitely has an impact in it. I think as well. I mean, it definitely makes the championship more attractive for players, doesn't it? Because like if you have 50% of the teams, 12 teams battling out for playoffs, which kind of means promotion. I mean, a lot of players will go, on a minute, I've got a decent chance of trying to get promoted to the Premier League here and earn some serious dosh. So that definitely makes the league more
Yeah.
attractive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sort of going back to the whole club situation, the float club bit. I mean, yeah, like you said, you've got your stereotypical Prestons, but it'll actually give them something to sort of be ambitious about before the start of the season. They can probably maybe set their plans to sort of, even if you go for the, obviously the playoffs being so big, you don't necessarily have to be the best team in the league for such a long time. As long as you're at where you sort of want to be, and then you're good towards the end of the season, it sort of will reward you. I mean, also looking at the current championship table, I mean, in eighth place you've got two teams on 51 points, 10th 50 points, 11th and 12th 49, 13th 48. So you're looking at what, how many teams is that? Six teams which are sort of would be battling out for that sort of lower playoff push, and it kind of, yeah, it'll give the fans a bit more to be excited about. I mean, like, yeah, I could obviously none of us can compare to being a Preston fan, for example. You don't know how they feel once they hit March and they haven't really got anything to play for anymore. Um, but yeah, as a fan, it should hopefully get you more excited and actually, yeah,
Definitely.
get you a bit more interest.
So to finish off what we're talking about, right? The big overarching thing, the big summary. Do you think it's a good thing, Jake? Do you think this is an overall positive thing for the league? Because let's be honest here, which is a slight negative reason, no fans asked for it, which is weird because it kind of sounds like a lot of the positives of this are actually tailor-made to fans, which is quite a weird sort of thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, I'm not a big follower of the championship, but it did kind of surprise me. It was very random. Like I know enough about the championship, but I've not heard any sort of fans of any clubs in the league sort of calling out for this. I haven't really seen the need for it. Um, I kind of think that free up is free up from the championship to the prem is probably where it should be, and the same as free come down from the prem. I kind of think that's where it should be, and sort of having a load of teams in competition is kind of just gonna. I do think that'll kind of get rid of the drama a little bit.
Mm,
Um, Because obviously, yeah, if you're talking about like final days of the season, like the push for the playoffs is going to be probably a little bit less competitive. Like sort of the teams that are in that sort of fourth or fifth spot will probably sort of give up and sort of focus on making sure they're ready for the playoffs rather than sort of having to battle it out to keep their place like they normally would. Um, yeah, I mean, like they said, it was the clubs and the stakeholders which sort of agreed for it. So it's not really. I don't really think it's for the fans. I do think at the end of the day, it's just for the money.
100%. I would concur a lot there. I definitely agree with what you're saying. That does bring us to the end of the podcast. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe, as it definitely helps us out. And follow us on all platforms. We are out on all where you can get your podcast, your Apple, Spotify, wherever you want to do it. We're there. So yeah, thank you very much for listening.